If there is one predominant factor that continues to allow drivers to be underpaid, often lied to, and exploited on almost a daily basis, it is indeed the lack of transparency. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Now, in videos before, we've talked about the fact that Uber was found guilty of stealing tips. I believe they had to pay out a cash settlement for doing that. We know the ride-sharing companies since day one. For all my veteran drivers out there, we know these companies have been dishonest with the drivers from day one. I've made it clear myself, veteran driver, been driving off and on since 2014. When we started, we were told drivers were earning an average of $90,000 a year. We were told when they began cutting fares that by cutting fares, it would cause drivers to earn more money because more folks would be on the app. We have been told lie after lie after lie. Nevertheless, there are always new lies coming down the pipe. Today, we're going to talk about just such a case. Now, this is in regards to an article titled, "Uber Charges Riders Surge Rates, but Drivers Didn't Get Paid Due to Glitch." So in other words, the passengers were paying surge pricing and the drivers were not getting any of that shit. Now, according to Uber, it was due to a glitch. We're going to discuss that because we know the ride-sharing companies, particularly Uber, have a lengthy history of being dishonest with its drivers. Here is the statement that they released, though. "A technical issue may have prevented you from seeing the driver surge heat map yesterday. The issue is fixed, and you can now continue to check the driver surge heat map for areas of high demand. We are sorry for any inconvenience." Now, this should immediately remind you of a previous video in which Uber claims to have overpaid drivers. And out of nowhere, they started taking money back out of the accounts of drivers. Now, this obviously is a problem that derives from lack of transparency because you don't know shit. No matter what Uber claims, because you have lack of knowledge on how they even calculate what you earn. How do you know if they're telling you the truth? How do you know if they're lying to you or not? In fact, when it comes to surge pricing, like in this case, because you couldn't see the surge map, how do you even know if the passenger is paying a rate that you should get more from? You don't know shit is literally the phrase best stated as a driver. You don't know shit. You don't know anything. You are totally kept in the dark. For my veteran drivers, do you believe you've ever driven a passenger from point A to point B and they paid a rate that was so damn high you could not come up to any other conclusion than, I got robbed on this damn trip? Passenger pays $100 or something and you get 10 or 15. Something happened that I got robbed. Have you ever felt that way as a rideshare driver? State it in the comments. I believe a hell of a lot of you have, because yours truly, I have too. Now, I want you to hear the follow-up. My opinion is bullshit, but you let me know what you think in the comments. An Uber spokesperson told Motherboard that the error occurred between 6 p.m. Eastern until 3:30 a.m. on Sunday. Uber confirmed to Motherboard that the company will compensate drivers who drove in areas with surge pricing, saying, "We apologize for this error and want to make it right. Drivers will be compensated for the trips they took that should have been priced higher due to surge pricing." When asked when drivers would be compensated, the spokesperson said ASAP. Now, this happened last Saturday, so this just happened last week. But notice what they stated. The times from 6 p.m. Saturday evening to 3:30 in the morning on Sunday. Oddly enough, this fits perfect. This is when the clubs close generally in most markets at 2 a.m. By 3:30 a.m., the crowd is all home. So it almost looks like they specifically took the highest grossing time period of the week for this damn glitch to happen. How coincidental is that shit? Out of the entire week, all of the time blocks, you happen to get 6 p.m. on Saturday night to 3:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. When everybody's going out to clubs and partying, when they're most likely to tip, all of that good shit. The tourists are out busy and all that, all on a Saturday night. You're going to tell me this was an accident? It's due to a glitch? Okay, let me know in the comments, what do you think? You think it was due to a glitch? Now also, here's where the lack of transparency poses a huge, colossal concern. They're stating that they confirmed an error happened, but they're saying they're going to compensate everybody who should have been paid a higher rate, and they're going to do it ASAP. Once again, it goes back to the original question I asked. How the hell do you know? How do you know if you drove someone in the surge pricing time frame and you didn't get paid properly? Even if you felt like you did, what kind of information do you have available that you could even present to Uber to make your case? As I stated before, as a driver, you don't know shit. You don't have access to anything. That is the problem with lack of transparency, is they can do anything. They can literally piss in your face and let you know how hard it's raining outside, because you can't prove that they're lying or they're telling the truth. Now, if a passenger is willing to show you how much they paid, maybe. But for the most part, most of us don't check with the passengers in regards to how much they paid. I mean, it's almost like asking personal information. I would encourage you do. I would strongly encourage that you do that. Even outside of this glitch and things like that, for the simple fact is most passengers have no clue how exorbitant Uber's take is of the fare. Even on any given day, Uber's take of the fare is generally at least 50% of most fares. Most passengers think it's probably about 10 to 15%. The chances of you taking a trip where Uber or Lyft takes only 15% of the fare when you're not being offered some kind of earnings guarantee, streak bonus, or something like that is very, very low. On any given day under normal circumstances, they're taking 50 to 80% of the fare. So it's always in your best interest to ask the passenger how much they paid for the trip and let them know what you paid, because it could encourage tipping. It could encourage passengers to make side deals with you, because even the damn passengers are not big fans of how much money Uber and Lyft are taking from the drivers. So even a lot of passengers are pissed off about that. So getting that information out to passengers is to your benefit, even if it's in the future on a different trip or something like that. Uber's done a really good job of hiding how much they take out of the fares, mainly through what we're complaining about here, lack of transparency. Everybody in the equation, all parties involved, with the exception of Uber and Lyft, do not have the entire formula, which is why some of these cities, and we had a disaster in Minneapolis, in Minnesota yesterday with Governor Tim Walz. It really pissed a lot of us drivers off, but that was part of that deal. Most of these cities that are fighting for drivers, one of the things they're fighting for is increased transparency, because that is where the leak is. That is where all the exploitation is coming from, is the fact that as a driver, you don't know shit. You can't speak up and complain about anything because you do not have all the information. So getting Uber and Lyft to itemize how much you're getting, how much the passenger is paying, and how much they are receiving is something they're going to fight to the death about. Because once everybody knows every damn thing, once everybody becomes educated, education is key. It's going to cause a hell of a lot of problems. Right now, we're all dumb as hell to some degree because we don't have the formula, so they can get away with a lot of shit. So they're going to keep fighting that. But this is a clear-cut case of what lack of transparency can do, where you can take someone under surge pricing and not even know it. Now, they're promising to return or compensate folks who were cheated out of the money, but do you really trust Uber? My veteran drivers, hell, even the damn new drivers out there, do you really believe that Uber, having a glitch apparently across the country, if not across the damn world, I don't know how widespread this was, but having a glitch during their most profitable time. It's going to be a hell of a lot of drivers out there that did not even realize they got ripped off on all of those trips. 6:30 to 3:30 a.m. You could have done a dozen trips in that time. It's going to be a hell of a lot of drivers that do not realize how much they get ripped off at. Do you really believe Uber can be counted on to refund 100% of the money they kept? You let me know in the comments. I just wanted to bring this one by you, just simply to give you more evidence to show lack of transparency for us is probably ripping us off more than any damn thing else. Hopefully it hasn't happened to you, but if it did, yeah, let your boy know in the comments where you took somebody from point A to point B, found out how much they paid for the trip, looked at what you earned, and it left you with no other conclusion than somebody ripped me the fuck off. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. And by the way, click the notification bell. Click the like. It does help out the channel. Appreciate all the participation in the comments and things like that from you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.